back in Tennessee. We share a little bit of history. We keep going on, rolling on, all day long. He's pretty clever with a word or two. What he would sing for me, he'd sing for you. We keep singing on, rolling on, all day long. My oh my is a big old sky. I keep forgetting we're just passing by. I ain't saying that we're out of time. I just remember my favorite line. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Got no crease, needs an eye and some elbow grease. I keep pressing on, rolling on, all day long. You might say that it's a little strange to be caught up in this golden cage. I keep swinging on, singing on, all day long. My oh my is a big old sky. I keep forgetting we're just passing by. I ain't saying that we're out of time. I just remember my favorite line. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Let you know they shine all day. The stars at night, you know they shine all day.
Welcome, everyone, to Big Blend Radio's newish music talk show where we get to hang out with the one and only Joey Stuckey in his Stuckeyverse, which spreads across the country and around the world, all from Macon, Georgia, the southern rock capital of the world, where he happens to be the official music ambassador. He has been on our show for a number of years, as have the Cravens Band from Southern Florida, who will be joining us here in a second to talk about their awesome new album called Strangers to the Truth. And yeah, it kind of feels like that this year, doesn't it? Excellent album. Everyone, joeystuckey.com is the website for Joey. And you can go to cravenmusic.net for the Cravens. But if you just tuned in through YouTube, you just heard the latest single from the album, and that is Big Ole Sky, which is one of my favorites. And if you're listening on other platforms, you just heard a little snippet. But hey, Joey, how are you?
Well, my friend, I'm staying going. We had it's been an interesting month. Lost the AC for 4 days, and that was pretty brutal. I got well acquainted with my floor, and because I had to sleep downstairs, there was nowhere else to lay. So that was fun. And then I also got to experience a pretty remarkable thing. A new device called One Court, which allowed me to experience my first soccer game in an arena. And through this device, I could feel where the ball was and where it was in play. So it's been an interesting July.
That sounds like a device. For those who are tuning in for the first time who have not met Joey on Big Blend Radio here, Joey is an award-winning blind guitarist, singer, songwriter, composer, producer, TV, radio personality, music columnist, educator, and sound engineer. Did I get it all in one foul swoop there? There's a lot more.
You did a good job. That was impressive.
But he does do a lot in regards to tech. In fact, especially for those who are visually impaired, he does a lot in regards to tech and does speaking engagements around the world about it. But excited to have the Cravens here. I know, Joey, you've met some of them before last year.
Absolutely.
And did you enjoy the album? Isn't it badass?
It's fantastic.
It is. I mean,
not only were the songs were great, the performances were great, the recording was great. I mean, everything was just totally on point. It was awesome.
I was dying to hear what you're going to say about that because I know you're picky.
Thank you very much.
I am picky.
Joey is picky. I mean, he is a recording engine, sound engineer, and he is picky about it, and really picky, and really, I know in Joey's new website, it talks about him being, he's got the soul of the music and the emotion, but technically on point. And when you listen to this album, honestly, and I'm going to bring you all on in a second here, but Joey, doesn't it have a hint of liveness to it? Like it's live. It feels like it.
There's a great sense of cohesion and interplay between the parts that's not stagnant. It feels like they're communicating, which is awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's so cool. Nancy is sitting here going, dynamics are the best,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. Bring on first from the Cravens because he has to, jog off here in a second. Bill is a busy drummer. So welcome back, Mr. M. How are you?
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for having us on.
Hey, it is good to have you back on the show. And how does it feel with another album? I know that you're also like Joey. You're picky about music because you write and review music. So when you guys put an album out, are you like the overcritical one?
Not really. Not when it's my own. When it's my playing, I don't worry too much about it. It's just a performance, even if it's on record.
Okay, right. It's a performance. I love that. I love that you're saying that because I think that's exactly what it feels like, with the album. And how's it been doing shows lately? You guys have been doing some live gigs, right?
Yeah, we did a couple over the last couple of weeks at the Bamboo Room in Lake Worth Beach, and had a great time both nights. The second one was just yesterday, late afternoon into early evening.
Wow. Okay, you guys are rocking it. How long have you been with the Cravens now?
It's been about 9 years that the 5-piece lineup has been together. We lost Ron DeSarum, our lead guitarist, about a year and a half ago, and he's since been replaced. It was a little bit of an obstacle to get over, but we worked it out and we're able to record this record nonetheless. And I don't think we lost anything, let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is something that all bands go through and every business goes through, personnel change. And I think you've got an awesome guitarist at your side that is doing well. That's why I think it's so crucial that Nancy and I have been listening to your music for, I don't know, a decade, I think, something like that. I don't know. A long time.
Yeah. The first album came out in 2018. So yeah, it's been time now.
It's been a while. Got to see you, and we've done all kinds of crazy stuff with you guys. Fun cocktail contests, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
Going through your entire catalog that we know of, there's some songs, that you're very acoustic as well, and you've got the albums that you put out that were like the hidden albums back in the day that you guys, Early Bird Special, things like that showed this other kind of acoustic kind of style. But when we say that you guys have continued your signature sound, even with some personnel changes, that to me, Joey, is that not a hallmark of a band who has, that's unique in these days when you see that everyone kind of sounds alike out in the big big playing field, right, Joey?
Yeah, it's true, and it certainly is a challenge to maintain your sound while continuing to evolve so you don't stagnate. I mean, that's the delicate balance which they've accomplished with great aplomb. So it's really nice to see that, and it's always hard when there's personnel changes, and that's always tough. And I think I've had it happen to me just when I thought, gosh, just when I got this guy sounded the way I wanted to do.
Yep.
Right.
But in all seriousness, I mean, it's a testament to the band's resilience and to the fact that they understand who they are, that they're able to continue sounding the way they sound, but continuing to evolve as well. So it's great. It's awesome.
So before Mr.
thank
M
you.
drives off, Bill, you just came back from Canada. You had a good time. I heard that you heard some other good music. Do you have anything to report that we should have all been there?
Yes. You should have seen the Branford Marsalis Quartet, the great saxophonist from New Orleans. I saw one of the best young drummers I've ever seen in a long time, and I'd never heard about him before. He's a French-Canadian guy named Matthias Colpron, and he led a quintet that was doing original fusion material that was awesome. I got to see the guitar player Mike Stern, who used to work with Miles Davis, and he had a drummer named Dennis Chambers, who's one of the greatest in the world. So I was able to be humbled by watching Mr. Chambers. And
Wow.
yeah, and we even saw a trombone shorty, which was insanity because that was the only outdoor show.
That's
it was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Wow.
I reviewed it for Jazz's magazine, South Florida-based international jazz publication.
Wow. So this everyone in Montreux Jazz Festival. Awesome that you got to experience that. Does it change you as a musician when you see these kinds of performances?
No, not really. You just want everything you see, you want to soak in, and you can borrow anything from it, all that much better.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you could go there and make us feel a lot jealous. I know Joey, you're feeling Joe Davis, so I know he's feeling a little jealous.
And Mike Stern's one of my favorite guitar players too. So yeah, I'm totally.
Mike's the best.
Man, well, thanks for that, Mr.
As always.
Everyone, Bill Meredith, the drummer for the Cravens. It's good to have him back here, and hopefully we'll get to see them all perform in Florida again. They're based out of South Florida. So if you go there, check out Cravens. You guys have a new website, so I got to get it straight here.
New website, yeah.
Craven.net. So check out they're all over on Facebook and everything too, so you can keep up with their shows. But let's get to our other friends here. Normally Dennis Ambrose is here too. He's the bass player, but he's not on today's show. But we give him a big shout out, and guys too. So Bill.
Yeah.
So I think
we for after Ron left the band for the next year or year and a half, really, up until these past few shows that we've done with Dave, Bill and Dennis and I and Bill Meredith. We're doing our original songs acoustically with Bill playing percussion. And that put like a whole another different perspective on our songs done with just acoustic guitars and percussion. It was nice. It was a nice little
very nice
venture to do, you know.
That's nice. Got in some lead guitar in the process too.
Yeah, which is really good. Playing lead guitar on some of the songs on the new album. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so everyone was branching out. And Dave was playing bass on the songs that Dennis was playing guitar on, so it's great. It works out live also.
Yeah, I love it. Nobody's let me play bass before, so I'm having a blast.
That's cool. Well, that's the thing. You've got to balance out. And so for people tuning in, so the Cravens, you've got Dennis Ambrose on bass, Bill Meredith on drums and percussion, and then you got the Storch brothers. We got John Storch and we've got Bill Storch. Both of them are songwriters. Both of them play acoustic and electric guitars. Both of them are singers, and they both have similar voices, but not the same. It's very much like Nancy and I. We're similar, but not the same. And then Simone is with them and did a part of the album as well, right, David? You were also on the album.
Absolutely. I'm on 7 tracks.
That's it. Yeah. So it sounds good. I mean, really, really good. This is tight. So, David, are you enjoying the Storch brothers? Are they treating you good? Do you go to the big house and everybody behave? Or, did they treat you good? I know they do. They're good people.
I've known these guys for 35 years, but I haven't been able to work with them in this capacity until just recently. So it's been fantastic. And then I've always been a fan of their music, and to be able to contribute to it is great. And then to be produced by them was to the next level. So And then we did these live shows, and it's just a blast. It all conveys.
It's been a blast. Yeah.
So, David, tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Cravens, the Storch brothers, Dennis, and
I've known Bill and John for almost 35 years. We used to do some studio stuff together a long time ago, but I've never had the opportunity to work with them in this capacity, which has been fantastic. I've always been a fan of their music, so to be on a recording with them is great, and then actually be produced by them, which I've never had the opportunity of, was just amazing. And then we're doing live shows, and it takes it to the next level, so I couldn't be happier.
New energy sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the whole stage dynamic has changed now. The live thing is, it's got a whole new electricity to it, which is wonderful. With Dave.
What's
Dave
nice
on board.
about it is we're not a tribute band. We're playing original music, and that's not another level. And it gives everybody a little bit something to play for. It's nice.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But your songs are so easy to get into. There's no.
Yeah, they are.
They're super easy.
They really are. We're one of the first. We're one of the few bands, if not the only band in South Florida. I'm not gonna say the only one, but one of a handful that can play exclusively original music, or 90% of it, and still play out. In the area, and have a draw, and have people come see us. So we're very, very lucky and very grateful for that. Absolutely.
Joey, I wanted to go to you on this. I mean, when there's a change, sometimes that new energy comes in and it makes you go back to your roots. And for you listening to this album, I mean, what was your first thing when you're listening to, I know you're a professional listener, and like Nancy and I are always excited about new music, especially when it's a favorite band, right? You get excited and then they it's like, wow, okay, this is, they're rocking it, but when there's a change like that, isn't it sometimes you have to go back to your core? And then I almost want to say, I know that you may not know them as long as Nancy and I, but listening to their music, it's easy to get in.
Well, when you have a good melody and you have people that can play, I mean, it's very accessible. And it's something you can hang on to, and of course, it is true that whenever there's a new beginning for a band, whether it's a personnel change or a new record with different songs that focus on different things, you do sort of rediscover yourself. So that's absolutely the right way to think about it. And I mean, really, it's fantastic. I mean, everybody plays well. The songs are well written, and the best thing is there are plenty of bands that are very talented, but their music's not accessible. It takes more effort to figure out what they're doing. I'll never forget, and this is a bad on me. I'm a huge U2 fan. Been a U2 fan since I was a little kid. When Octoon Baby came out, I thought, what the hell is this? It wasn't like the other stuff. There were so many new sounds, and the band had gone a totally different direction. But once I had my preconceived notions obliterated by listening to the record the first time, I realized what genius it actually was. They were breaking new territory.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting when you break new territory, but you are able to continue to have the core essence of who you are continue while you break new ground and continue to create new things. So they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about Octoon Baby. That is a great album, and it was a complete about face.
Yeah,
and it totally restored the band and made them fresh again. For a whole another decade.
They discovered who they were. They sat down very purposely and came up with all kinds. And you got to give Brian Eno some credit there, because there's going in there and trying to figure out all these like new sounds and new ways of expressing the same ideas, and so it really was fantastic. And I mean, I think ultimately that's what we all want to do, is to continue to evolve in new and interesting ways while keeping the core value of what made us exciting to begin with out there. I mean, we did a record. I've always grown up in the studio where I have everybody in a different room and everything's completely isolated. And that means that I can easily fix any kind of problems that happen. One guy makes a mistake, the whole band is going to start over. But we went to Sun Studio in Memphis, Tennessee, while we were on tour there, and decided we'd record there. You can rent the studio for 3 hours a night.
No way.
The rest of the day is all a museum. And so we were all crammed in this one small room. there was no ability to fix anything because everything was all the bass was bleeding onto the guitar and the drums were bleeding onto the vocal and the vocals.
Right.
Anyway, so there was no way to fix anything. And I asked them, they don't really have engineers that staff the place. They have guys that know how to turn the stuff on, but they don't really have engineers that staff the place. So basically the option, I asked for a click track and all this kind of stuff. And then they're like, oh, we don't know how to do that. And I was like, okay, we'll just hit record. We'll be good. So we did that.
Right.
We did that as a souvenir of how the band sounded on the road at that time. And when I got it back home, it was a complete reinterpretation of the sounds I've been doing, and I decided to make it a record. So I mixed it my place and added a few overdubs. But it was a way. It was a way for me to rediscover who I was and what I wanted to say, and it was totally different than anything else I'd ever done. So it was if you're lucky as an artist, you go through that phase.
So
Absolutely, I agree with you.
with you guys, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there is one thing that I want to say about this recording, and I will let you guys know, is that we were almost done with our recording. The album was almost done a year ago until Ron left, and when he left, it wasn't very good because he threatened to sue us if we were to use any of his tracks on our CD. So John and I had to put our thinking caps on and go, who do we know that we like? First of all, you have to have musicians that you like, right? You have to have people that you like and you love, you know? So we're like, oh my God, there's Dave Simone down in Fort Lauderdale, and let's give him a call. And he's a great guitar player, and he can come up. Because I'm going to tell you, it took us 6 months just about to work with Dave. Maybe not 6 months, maybe like 4 months for Dave to do all the re-recording, take all of Ron's parts off there. And it did. It gave John and I and Dave an opportunity to rediscover the songs that way. So we were able to. And Dennis too. And Dennis too as well. But it gave us time to like rethink the songs in that way. I mean, the drums were already recorded, the bass was already recorded, the guitars were already done, the vocals hadn't been finished yet. We were like, and then Dave came in. Zach came in with his own interpretation, and we sat in the floor room for a good 4 months and rediscovered it, and Dave came up with his parts, and we all talked about it and added stuff, and we invented a new album that way.
They sent me the tracks, and I actually demoed them in my little demo studio so I could work out what I interpreted their music as. So I had those tracks with no Ron. So it was just how would I play their songs, and then I approached them, and then we sat down, and then we worked out all the parts and see what was working. So it was kind of fun that way.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So in a way, it was a moment to reinvent ourselves with Dave, you know.
And but you're still carrying your sound, and I also wonder about with you guys going out and the four of you playing, you know, before Dave came into the picture, that you're kind of building going back to that core thing. It's like, okay, because the guitar part the guitars are different, yet I think Dave brings a ton to the table, yet you guys are keeping your sound with somebody new. The guitar, people expect that guitar, you know, after Ron, the people do.
Yeah, that's the reason why we were looking for someone to play. Yeah. We were looking for someone who could play. Because Dennis and I had played on a few of the songs, and then it's just like, well, Ron had that flash, he had that spark, and we needed someone that could add to bring that to the table, you know, who could rock hard, you know. And it's like, okay, let's give Dave a call.
Cool. And Dave, you really do.
And he adds so much. It's a whole different style of playing. Style of playing.
You guys have better timing on your music than all talking over each other. I'm just teasing you. I hear what you're all saying, but I wanted to go into that because it is exciting. And I think it is, you know, it's like, this is a thing that just happens in life in general. You know, you have to go back to what matters. And sometimes, you know, it's like everything's about substance. That's what matters.
Absolutely, man. 100%. And what I want to say is that we were able to find out through just playing without Dave and doing it acoustically that these songs can stand on their own acoustically too. So it gave John and I and Dennis and Bill a chance to go, hey, wait a minute, this material is standing even in this form. People are reacting to it and liking it even in this form. So I think when we came back with the band with Dave, it gave us a better understanding of what we were actually performing, if that makes sense.
And I was able to go to a few of the acoustic shows myself, so I got to watch.
Yeah. Dave would go too. Yeah.
I was going to say, Joey, isn't it true that if you can't do a song acoustic, like if you can't sing a song without everything being there, right, as a singer, you should be able to sing it without 5 instruments backing you up if you're a good singer, unless you're doing backup. Guitar. Yeah, with an acoustic guitar, you should be able to do it acoustically unplugged. I mean, go back to Dylan days,
That's what I tell these guys. They can sell all their songs with an acoustic guitar. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's something about stripping it down, and then you can build up back with.
Well, that's great about it is when you do that, we have so much to build on because the songs are so good,
Yeah, that's how I feel too. That it gave us a little while to look at the material for what it was, and then said, okay, now we can get Dave in here and then rebuild it back up, and it's worked out.
Your dynamics are spot on. Yeah. There's one song that Joey, Nancy and I stumbled on it, "Raining," and it's just the most subtle, most beautiful guitar piece. And Nancy and I were just listening to it yesterday, Joey, again. Nancy wants to do a music video to this, so she wants to put nature things, in there. And then it is called "Raining," right? Am I getting
it? Got it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It is. This is. No, this is Joey, because it's a beautiful acoustic song, but it's the dynamics of it. So when you're listening to this album, Joey, did you hear that part of it where it isn't overloaded, like with the dynamics where like Dave isn't putting in extra frills just to show off. Does that make sense, Joey?
Yeah, everything had its purpose and a place. I definitely think so. And again, the songs are strong, which means that they can, if the songs are strong, you can do just about anything with them, which is great. And I'd say 90% of the time you should know you have a strong song if you can just do it with one voice and one guitar, and it still work. And that's how you've got a strong song. Occasionally, because of some intricate parts, you may have to have more than that to make a song work, especially if it's a more cerebral experience than it is an emotional one. I'm thinking about art rock here, like King Crimson. I don't know how well that would translate to one guitar.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's a more cerebral experience than it is an emotional one in my mind. And so, but yeah, I think that's fantastic. All these songs are really great, and I can hear in my mind that they could easily be done just acoustic guitar and vocal, and that's always a good sign. And I think that's one of the things I do as a producer when I'm working with a client is we strip it down as bare as we can get it, and explore that so we can see what it really actually needs. What does it need? Does it need more? Does it will more enhance the experience, or will more decrease the experience? And so that's a really good place to start.
Because you can hear it, with this, you listen to songs like "More Than Sorry." "Big Ole Sky" is one of my favorites. I know that's the new single. That's a killer song. Yeah, that is, but then, like, honestly, the title track is a badass. "Strangers to the Truth." Like, that is speeding ticket material. Now, I love it. It is. Like, as soon as it is. It's like my wants to go next.
Well, Bill. It's not my fault. I was influenced by an alien substance.
The last time I got a ticket was because I was listening to really, and I was going through a construction zone that I knew so well. It was right by my house. And I was like, there was this certain drum bit that I was listening to. It was a Mick Fleetwood thing. And I was like, sorry, but this is so good, and had to let everybody hear it in the world. And then I got over, and then I was like, damn it, I'm not done listening. Just wait. It didn't work for me, but the last time I got pulled over, it was in Indiana in a cornfield, and but he let me go, so I don't know what I did. But Nancy has a habit of wanting to record every time I get pulled over, but apparently but the music thing does, that's a test, and because you're in a car and you're driving, and for us, the road is the test. The road is the test. If you can make it through Texas with an album and you can listen to the entire album, how many people have famous albums in their house? Or I don't know, Spotify now, I suppose, whatever. And that's a whole other thing about Spotify right now. I'm starting to question what's going on with Spotify. It's getting a little weird with where they're taking their money and what they're investing in is not necessarily, it's violent, let's put it that way. So it's they're investing in
I'll have to read about it.
Drones that kill people.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Oh, fuck. Oh, hell. Sorry.
No.
Wow. Wow.
But anyway, there's stuff happening, and I don't think musicians make that much money off of Spotify.
Zero. Nothing.
You have good numbers on Spotify and
yeah, we're getting good numbers. Yeah.
People want us to be on Spotify. They want this, they want that. And yet it doesn't, you have to kind of have that integrity. But an album, it's like, I love, as we travel the country, Nancy and I, as many people know, we pet sit, right? So we're immersive. We're in communities across the country. Sometimes people go, are you going to go to that community? Yes, we want to be immersed in all of it and experience it all. And what I do see, we're seeing less books in homes, more record players. So we're excited about the record players and vinyl making a comeback. And some people are bringing out their vintage, or maybe that's what they're doing, is collecting vintage now and getting new ones. And so we're seeing more record players, which is giving me some hope. Hardcover books would be great. But I know Joey wants audibles, so that's good. He wants audiobooks. So authors know that.
That's good.
Interesting
choice.
Nobody wants to read a book in Braille. Come on now.
Nobody. It's a very painful experience.
He's got better things to do with his hands.
Absolutely.
But I was going to say with the music, an album is an album. Like this album, you want to hear it from start to finish. Yeah. And there's a song on there that you pass over. I get so excited for those kinds of albums where you're just, and I hate it if there is an album that the song just doesn't, and it happens, but it's grow on you. It could be a year before suddenly the one that you passed over is like, oh, now I get it, and this is the best thing ever. But this, that is cool. It's like sometimes it's just a different, I don't even say level of listening. It's just like, oh, this resonates with me now. Sometimes different sounds.
Well, we paid a lot of attention. We paid a lot of attention to what songs are going to be on it, and then also the song order, so it flowed like an album. And the way how we did it with this record is that we had an ending for side one and a beginning of side two, and then that's how we pieced it together as if it was a two-sided album.
Almost like a oh my God! Do you know I had to drive? Remember, I had to pull Nancy away. Do you remember?
I do remember. Yes, I remember that Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, and that was Thanksgiving dinner, and then the show. I had to drive, pull her out of the club, and I'm like, "You need to go." And remember, it was also during the pandemic, so all of us were like wearing a mask and trying to behave. And then Nancy's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, we have to. And she's like, she became the 2-year-old. Sorry, Nancy. But
yes, I remember that.
But that's a good thing. But I'm telling you,
it was starting to storm, and you had to drive way out west of town somewhere. Like to Wellington or somewhere like that.
I don't know where I was, but I do know West Palm Beach because I had to go play at the airport like at midnight over and go around and around, and I'm like, I don't know where I am. But I think that is, if you are known also as a live band, that your album resonates with the people that go to see you, and then for those who don't get to see you to be able to have that taste. So I think that's another killer balance, is that energy and electricity.
That's very cool.
Yeah, because we felt, as soon as we heard it, we're like, her and I have been like going through a lot of work lately, and we're tired and crabby, and all of a sudden you put the music on and we're like, hey man, let's party, dude. Who cares?
I gotta come to it though.
Yeah, but so Joey, let's talk about this. The music of the Southeast. There is something that goes on, like from Florida all the way in the swamp, the nice swamp, not the other swamp in DC, like the nice swamp, right? Well, oh God, you guys have to detour a swamp in there too. But there's the nice swamp is the Everglades, and then all the nice like Okefenokee out by you, Joey, and stuff.
Yeah.
There's good
Wow. Yeah,
nature
it's beautiful.
swamps, nice swamps, not political swamps, nice swamps. But there is something that happens, and John, I want you to talk about this too. I don't know, is this a music corridor? And Joey, does this happen in Macon because of, Macon got so famous with Allman Brothers and, James Brown, and you've got so much music history in Macon. Is it because it's on a pathway in a way outside Atlanta from Florida? It just seems like there's a route. And then John, I want you to answer that too. Like, is there a route, do you think?
Well, there certainly seems, Jacksonville, Florida, and that area has certainly given us, Derek Trucks, and you've had Tom Petty come from that area. You've had Leonard Skinner come from that area. And then as you get further up towards Georgia, you have bands like, obviously we had Little Richard, and you had Otis Redding and the Allman Brothers, of course. So there does seem to be something to that idea that there's sort of a southern pathway where a certain sound sort of travels around. So, and each little area has its own, distinct sort of foothold in that pathway. I love the Allman Brothers. I really, really do. But I must say, and Otis Redding too.
Yeah.
But I must say, if I have to hear one more Otis Redding and Allman Brothers cover band, I'm gonna have to knock myself out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how we have down here.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I love it. I do, and I admire it. And it's valuable, and it's incredible. But
there's no special route or route down here at all anymore. I hear what you're saying about Jacksonville and, like, say, Gainesville and Macon and Savannah, Georgia, and all that whole area. There's absolutely history there, and there's probably still a sound there. I don't think there's a South Florida sound per se.
Really?
There may be when it comes to, like, say, Latin music and some hip hop, which I'm unaware of. But when it comes to a rock thing, it's non-existent. It's like, I'm not going to say that it's a musical desert, because it's not. There's a lot of clubs and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Bar bands.
There's just
bar
not.
Bands
There's a lot of bar bands. Tribute
Yeah.
bands is a big thing now, and then there's like a contingency of bands that are kind of like Irish punk folk type stuff, which is very popular right now around here.
Mhm.
And then like death metal type stuff is kind of popular here. And then tribute bands, and there's nothing original.
Tribute
We're
bands
kind of
are
like
another one.
we're very different because we're
Wow,
playing
well,
original.
good for you.
You know,
Well,
yeah, very different.
You're
Don't
doing
respond to it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never really understood. I don't mind playing a cover here and there that really gets the audience excited, and certainly if I've made the cover my own and done something unique with it, I don't mind playing it. But it is tiresome to have nothing but cover bands, and I've never really understood, with the exception of artists who are dead, I've never really understood the appeal of seeing a cover band. If I want to see Billy Idol, I'll go see Billy Idol. I mean, when he's on, I've never
See Billy Idol too.
I've never. We played Whiskey a Go Go with a Billy Idol cover band, and they did a good job. Don't get me wrong, but I mean they didn't just play the music; they dressed in all the clothes and they did all the makeup.
I
And
can't stand that.
The wigs, yeah.
And I was like, man, if I want to see Billy Idol, I'll go see Billy Idol. I don't want to see somebody giving me their interpretation of Billy Idol.
Oh my God, you know how many Stevie Nicks are running around right now?
I do
And I'm
not.
like,
Hello.
Tons of them.
God.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
John
Yeah.
put out a really good ad last week that was really funny for.
about tribute bands, yeah, about how we're different from other bands in South Florida. I did a little video. I'll have to send it to you. You'll laugh your head off. It touches right on this topic completely.
Well, I
The
think
tribute bands down here are insane. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
it's out
I
of
think
hand.
too, we're getting to a point of like with sampling too. Everybody is taking everybody's music and putting it in. So they're making like, okay, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but, and I know you saw her perform at the Grammys, Joey, Miley Cyrus, and I think she's got a great voice and I think she's got a lot of talent, but the song that this Flowers thing or whatever, as soon as I heard her sing it, I was like, I already know this song, and it sounds like the Bruno Mars thing. And now that was a little thing I think that happened. I don't know what happened legally or what, but it sounds. I'm sorry. Was it if they worked together as like it was a call and answer kind of thing? It would have been like in the old days. Like they could have taken it back to old soul kind of days, right? And done like
and gone back and forth. That would have been like.
They could have done it like here's a full song versus another one. It's like a callback and like a old blues R&B, like like in the day. They could have done that. But then when she put it, and then she wins a Grammy, I'm going, it's not your song. You totally heard something and rewrote it your way, and that's weird. And that's just my opinion. Which it's like if I said something against a Swiftie or Taylor Swift, I'm going, well, we got to be nice about Taylor Swift, but
no.
But she does her own thing. She does her own thing.
I'm not sure if there's a lot of borrowing or a lot of stealing going on out there. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know what the new laws are for that.
It's formula. It's a formula that people catch on to, and they like the sound, and they try to copy the sound, the production aesthetic, and they just switch things a little bit, and it becomes a formula. There was a big R&B ballad formula, like in the say the 80s, early 1990s, and it was a formula. So it's like Luther Vandross did it, like Anita Baker. I mean, you just name it. It's like you could just take one song, put it into another, insert it into another song. I'm just saying Luther and Anita, even though they are extremely great artists, and they weren't part of that. But there were artists that were very like carbon copy, and that's happening now in pop music. It's like everything.
Is this the company at the top? Like Taylor Swift, I think really does write her own.
The record companies that are yeah.
Now.
Group of songwriters. It's a group of songwriters that are ruling the nest. There are songwriters, and like about maybe 7 or 8 of them, and they all write all the songs. And now you got AI writing songs. Have you ever heard a song written by AI?
Yeah, they do it on like when we have Canva in our world of doing content and all of that, and so AI is everywhere. And some of it, like Joey, we've talked about this, that AI is a good tool. And if you look at it as a tool, but we all have a delete button, a backspace, and a delete. And Nancy's favorite thing is delete. And she would like a blow up button for certain things. Nancy. But a delete button, it's called editing, and there's a tool, right? So there's a tool, but you still, it doesn't mean that you leave your damn brain behind. If it's it's like now you see people using it and forgetting that you were born with a brain and you have a choice to use it or not. It's a choice. And when people live in that world where they're not using it as a tool, I think it's dangerous. And I've heard you go on Canva, for example, which is great. It can do all the artwork and all of that kind of stuff. And I did some artwork the other day. I made an ad or something for someone just because it is a good program to do all that in. And it came back and said, we noticed you didn't use a template. And then I had my own words, I'll behave myself. But I was like, because I don't want to use a template. Like everything is template to the point of throw up. And I think that's happening in the music industry. And AI making music is to be which is weird, so that we don't have copyright issues and royalties and all of that, which isn't great for musicians.
Absolutely.
Where is AI coming from with music if it wasn't stealing from the musicians in the first place? So
it's all fed into this one big machine, basically.
Yeah, I want to ask Dave, since this is his first time on the podcast with us, and you're new to not to the band, but to us. Tell us a little bit about your beginning. Have you always come from Florida? Did you come from Florida? Have you always lived there? And tell us a little bit about your music background of when you got started playing guitar.
Well, I was born in New York State, but I moved to Florida in teenager years, South Florida.
I thought you had a New Yorkie kind of accent or somewhere up there.
Everybody says that. Upstate New York, everybody says it. I don't hear it, but they still say it, so it must be true.
Where in upstate New York?
Syracuse, Utica, Rome area.
Nice. Cool. Good musicians come out of that area. Big time.
Yeah. Everybody knows Joe Bonamassa. He came out of the town next to mine. So it's that kind of environment. But moved to Florida and just started playing guitar by local bands and stuff. Then I did go to music college. 1985 graduate of GIT, one of the first years of the graduation. So that was many moons ago. But in my class was Jimmy Herring, Jeff Buckley, those kind of guys, Paul Gilbert.
Oh, Herring's a good friend of mine.
Wow.
Oh, I used to hang out with Jimmy Herring a lot when we were going to school. Yeah, he used to sit there and play the whole Dregs catalog, which was just incredible.
Oh,
yeah,
he's super nice.
Okay, you'll never meet a nicer person. Absolutely. So that's and then just kind of playing locally, played nationally, and just touring bands and stuff, but nothing big, and just kind of.
You grew up in it. Dave, tell them how you grew up. Dave,
well, my parents owned nightclubs.
Tell them how you grew up.
Well, my parents started out in New York. My parents owned nightclubs, so they used to bring in all the semi regional acts and stuff. So from the time I was 12 years old, 11 or 12, I used to work in the bar with my parents on the weeknights. And they used to they'd have like a club that had like 2,000 acts. So I got to see all the rock bands when I was a kid. I'd go up there and play on their equipment and all that stuff. So it's kind of inbred. That's where it first started. Yeah.
Well, okay, wait. Did you work? Because I worked in the bar when I was 13 for a very short stint. Yeah. We toured in South Africa with Nancy's artwork, and we were doing something with some restaurant or something, and I wanted to work, and they put me to work in the bar, and I made money, man. As a 13-year-old, I was like, holy cow, look at this stuff. But
that was exactly my age, and I loved it. So I worked with my parents. I worked back bar, so I stocked the beer coolers, the liquor thing, filled the ice trays, washed the glasses. But the best part was the bar closed at 2. Then my parents were party animals, so they would go out after that and party until 5. And of course, I got dragged along. So not only did I hang out in my parents' bar and see bands, I would go to the after-hours bars and see all the crazy stuff. And I'm 13, so still doing the same thing.
Because Nancy's art thing worked in a lot of hotels in South Africa and the bar bands and stuff like that. And some of them also did their originals and are best friends. And then after the gig, and our friends actually lived in the hotels. They had a contract through Holiday Inn throughout South Africa. And they lived in the hotel. And I'd hang out with my best buddy, Robbie, in the hotel. They performed, and him and I would do shenanigans in the hotel, like seriously. I mean, we were putting butter on steps. I mean, like we should have been totally, and like, somebody should have stopped us, but we went a little rogue. We were throwing things in people's drinks from, windows where the bar was. Anyway, it was so much fun. But after that, then they would all get into a van and drive to what was called the Pont. And it was actually between South Africa and Lesotho. And Lesotho is its own independent African country. And so it's a river, and people would ski and everything. So it was like, they would party and play music all night and then go to a campground, and it would continue on. And it was like that's where my music thing really started, was from exactly that. And people sitting around, and you would hear musicians do their own stuff away from the bar crowd, basically, and compositions and stuff. I was raised learning the importance of composition, whether it's photography, painting, music. Composition is everything. And believe it or not, the same principles apply whether it's audio or visual. The same principles apply.
Well, this was 1976, so all the bands my parents brought in were all original rock and roll bands, regional bands. So it was great. It was the biggest. I wasn't seeing cover bands. So I grew up on that. So again, this whole cover band thing is just bizarre. And before I joined with the Storches, that was my dilemma. Do I join a cover band? And then the phone rang.
Wow.
So now I'm in the Cravens. So it worked out.
So it's like divine intervention. And when something shifts 100%, and changes.
100%.
Dave's band had just broken up. We didn't know.
Broken up. I was in a duo that broke up, and then COVID hit, and then I got through that, and then I just been sitting home, and it was like I kept getting offers. Everybody wants me to come out and play, but it's all tribute band stuff. And I was just biting my nails, and then John called me. So it worked out.
Well, I think this goes with Change is coming soon, you know. There's a really good message of hope in this. And whenever
because my heart was in the rain.
Yeah, oh, there it is. Your heart is in the rain. Well done. Track number 8. When things like that, a change happens, it first there's like, you know, all kinds of language, and then it goes into now what? You know, and it is, you have to actually look at the facts before you can make a change, right? And you have to look at the facts. All right, these are the facts, nothing but the facts, ma'am. And then what are we going to do about it? Are we going to do anything about it? And then things happen I think if you have the spirit towards it. And it's hard when you have integrity in your work or your craft. It is hard because there's all these other influences that, like you were saying, Dave, it's like, hey, come play a tribute band, come do this, come do that. Yeah, it's fun to put bread on the table, but it's not, you know, we're all here.
Well, that's the problem too, is they're making ridiculous money in these tribute bands. You know, there's a lot of great players in those tribute bands, and that's why it's money, but it's kind of like selling your soul.
Yeah. You have to, well, that's the thing. And I know people, they have, you know, regular day jobs and everything. They're like, I know, financial wizards, but on the weekends, like, holy cow, what just happened to that person, you know, because they want to be able to stay true to their music too. It's like everyone's a different path. Everyone's a different path, but to do originals, I think I'm going to honestly say, I think the AI thing and all of the stuff we've been talking about is going to change, because if people are putting more vinyl in their houses, Joey, what do you think? If vinyl is making a subtle comeback, and it is, thank you to Jack White, who I love dearly. What do you, and he's not a cover boy either. Look at it. Like,
oh God, I love him.
No, he stands up for whatever he wants to stand up for. And, you know, I love that. Joey,
I think in the long run, AI is going to let us stand out.
I think
it's going to want something natural, you know?
What do you think, Joey, especially with, you know, having the studio and everything? I mean, you're seeing what people are like, hey, I want to record this. And can I do, you know, Dreams by Fleetwood Mac once again? No, I'm kidding. I don't know if people have done that. No offense to Fleetwood Mac. But Joey, do you think that originality will win this war? Because I think it's a war.
I hope so. I'd like to believe that. I don't know though, because I mean, people are basically lazy, and some people are not inspired by music at the same level that musicians are, right? So music might be important to them, but where they get it may not be as important. I had a horrifying experience just about a week ago where an acquaintance of mine sent me a copy of their song, and I said, gosh, I didn't even know you played or sang. And they didn't. They basically wrote some lyrics and had AI record all the instruments and actually sing the song and all this stuff. And I have to say, it sounded pretty good. I mean, I didn't want to say that, but I have to say, you know, it sounded pretty good.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, what I think is going to happen is that there's going to be a little phase that we're going to go through, and we might not see the end of it. But I tell you, I think young people are going to be fascinated by it. They're going to want to hear what it can do. They're going to like it for a while, for like maybe 20, 30, 40 years, and then they're going to turn their back on it, just like they do in the movies.
You're right.
You know?
I think
they're going to fight about it.
Yeah.
And there is going to be this morbid fascination with it, and people are going to see what they can do with it, and they're going to expand it. Yeah, they're going to expand. There's going to be a blending of AI with original ideas. You know, that's going to happen too, where it's going to be like a mixture. I do believe that there will be a fight back, and I do believe what ultimately is going to win is a live performance.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going out and seeing someone actually play the instrument and you know, that sounds stupid, artisan or whatever you want to call it, but just to be right there and be present as it's happening, I think that's going to become very, very important. Maybe the live hologram performance of the Rolling Stones in 1966.
Oh my God! But wait! Look at what ABBA did. You know, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. I think in some ways it's like karaoke. People really get into karaoke, and they are competitive.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And it's so in a way, I think in some ways it inspires creativity in a way, but.
Yes.
God, I'll go back and sit at the pond with all my music friends that were like way older than me and be like wowed by, I get to actually have like a personal moment while they're playing around the campfire. They may be hammered, but this was good stuff, you know? I won't talk about one guy up in a tree crowing like a rooster at 2 a.m. But anyway, none of us will ever forget that. He decided he needed to wake everybody up in the campground. But there's things like that I hope, it's part of music. But I think it is going to be interesting to see. But at the end of the day, AI is using everybody's information.
Tricky part. It's not
I had a band we interviewed a couple years ago, and I was like, well, that cover is interesting with their album cover. And she says, I hate to tell you this, but AI did it. I'm like, what? She said they had an idea of what they wanted, and they kind of jotted it down, kind of sketched it out, but they're not artists. And so they went into AI and said, do this. And holy cow, it was exactly what they envisioned. And so what does that do for artists that get to do album covers? And
you're right.
So I think it's a tool, but it's
but I do it, I do it all the time. I do it all the time with little video shorts that I make for the songs. But I'll incorporate my ideas, I'll feed it some ideas, and I'll come up with an idea or a sketch. And then I'll do things to manipulate it and make it my own, and then like weave something else into it. So I'll add my own spices to it. I just won't keep it like just the AI thing.
That's important.
You do need to work with it and put your hands in the clay. Like say if you're sculpting something, you need to add your own creativity into it. But AI does give a good idea to spark ideas to jump from. So I do it all the time. I do.
Well, Joey, this is the thing. AI on your side is crucial. It's crucial.
We haven't gotten to the point where it's useful for me yet as a blind person, but it's quickly moving that direction. I've been talking about it for years, where one of the places AI should shine and where it should be is as an assistant for someone with a disability. So if I had a virtual assistant where I could say, one of the things people don't realize is that blind people can't use a mouse because the screen reader, which is a program that sort of tells you what's on the screen, can't figure out where the pointer is.
Have it on speaker.
Yeah, and so we're working our ways towards, I think, having real AI generated virtual assistants for the disabled, and it's getting there with the meta glasses and all these different things. So that's where I think it should shine and can shine and be a real benefit as a help.
Yeah. Well, Joey, Joey, would you get in a driverless car? I remember when we were in Scottsdale, Phoenix December. Sorry, I thought it was just the other day. I went shopping, and the grocery store had driverless cars going around, and I was like, holy cow, I'm not getting anywhere near them. However, they actually drove like more than 100% better than the people. So I was like, okay, wait a minute, because people are, don't get me started on drivers, but
they're emotional.
Yeah, and so it knew when somebody was walking near it, someone pulls out in front of it. Because I just sat and kind of watched these cars for a little bit thinking, there's no way in hell I'm getting in one though. I can't. I have to have control of that kind of thing. No,
they're not, they're getting closer all the time, but they're not where they need to be with infrastructure and programming to make it work. But, we've been predicting these driverless cars or robot cars since the 40s. So authors like Asimov and Heinlein and all these guys. So, but yeah, I'm not ready to get in one yet, but I will be when I have.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Convincing people to drive me around. Ready. I'll be the guinea pig.
Okay. All right. Well, you let us know. Well, okay. Before we all go.
I'm sorry, but this is Bill, and I've got to leave. I've got to head out to meet my wife somewhere. But it's been a pleasure, Joey and Lisa, talking to Dave and John and everybody. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great talk.
Good to have you back on the show, Bill. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your review and everything. Thank you. It means a lot.
We loved it. I wanted to ask you all before we close up here, because we, always go over time, right? The state of live music, when we talk about AI and everything and how live music can save it, right? Like bring back the spirit, the soul. So it's been interesting watching what's going on with the big stadium concerts, how they went away at one point, and then what's going on with ticket sales. And then, hey, look at independent clubs. Now, Dave, that's something from, back in your, the day with your parents, of how clubs have changed over the years. And sometimes it doesn't even have like one owner anymore. Like it's a conglomerate that owns these clubs. Like I just want to go hang out at Buddy Guy's club, right? That's my dream. Is I just want to go there, and he needs to perform there. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time. But I think where are we on that in regards to, is the live music why we actually have tribute bands? Because people are familiar with it, so the club owners know that they'll sell more drinks. Yeah.
Yeah, they're familiar with it, and it goes back to what Joey had to say, is that people are lazy. They're lazy. They want their entertainment on a plate. They're used to seeing a Van Halen. So they want to see the Van Halen tribute band that they grew up with, or whatever, Rolling Stones, whatever. And they're lazy for discovering new stuff that's out there.
No,
they're settling. Yep. They're settling for less and thinking it's more.
Do you think though?
Well, they're settling because that's what's being presented to them.
Exactly. Because Club. Yeah.
Because it's proven, because we people come out and see us. They like.
Yeah, it's not even cover bands anymore. It's tribute bands. It's like they play
tribute bands.
They play like the whole Fleetwood Mac catalog. They don't play like Fleetwood Mac and then a David Bowie song and this and that. It's like it's all
really
with
weird.
The wigs and everything. Like what Joey was saying. It's ridiculous.
Wearing a wig is a good idea for me.
It's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. And it's because people are nostalgic. They're lazy. They want to see something that is easy entertainment.
John, the musicians are too.
Yeah.
They're great players, but they're late. They'll do it.
Yeah, because
they're doing it for a buck. They're doing it for a buck. Yeah.
What were you going to say about Gordon Lightfoot? What's up with Gordon Lightfoot? What did he do?
They actually had a Gordon Lightfoot tribute band down.
What?
Oh my gosh.
I think
that's crazy.
Wait, do they have a Hall & Oates band where they throw things at each other?
They might.
I mean,
it's extreme down here. It's extreme down here. They've got Jackson Brown tribute band. They've got like even bands that never like a James Addiction tribute band. There's a tribute band that like bands that never even had hits, like live, like 90s bands. And
no, we can't have tribute bands from the 90s.
I mean, we're not even talking like Smashing Pumpkins. We're talking like grade C, grade D bands or.
To see someone try to be Smashing Pumpkins. I'd like to see that happen.
I'm sure they're here. Believe me, there's everything. All kinds of tribute bands. Donovan tribute band. Seriously, I'm not joking. I mean, it's just like it's here.
Okay, so Joey, what do you think's going on for live music in the future? Like in the next 5 to 10 years, what do you think?
I mean, it's eventually. I mean, I think eventually what's going to happen is there will be a segment of the population that wants a boutique experience and will want to see humans playing music written by humans. I think that's true, but there's and look, I'm guilty of it myself. I mean, like I much prefer putting on a CD and listening to the whole album and having an experience. But I still crank up Spotify when I'm looking for something or when I want to do a playlist, and it doesn't sound as good as a CD. And it's certainly revenue-wise, it's not supporting the artist like you should. But even I'm a little lazy or have time constraints and have to take the path of least resistance. So, it's a thing.
I love Spotify just for the fact of discovering new music. I discovered tons of music on Spotify, and I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Music.
It's like a dream come true. When I was a kid, I used to dream about wanting to hear these albums. Or these artists, and it's like they were never on the radio and blah blah, and we have to
and we can't afford all the
find
albums.
them. Now it's just like it's all at your fingertips, everything. It's like it's great. It's great.
YouTube to be able to see concert that you never saw. Like there's bands like the Beatles that I never got to see when John Lennon was alive. And by the way, Nancy says there's a little Lennon in your music. We were talking about that this morning. We had a whole conversation that there's a Lennonish kind of. I think what it is, and we were talking about the Beatles and you guys, because you're not like the Beatles did. They had a sound, right? And they evolved their sound all the time, but when it's the Beatles, and yet they would try different styles. And some of your songs have a little bit of a different, like laid back, like you're at the beach. And then it's like, no, we're going to really rock this and get a speeding ticket, or hey, this is a little ballad, or this is a time of, there's so many different emotions and stories in an album with you guys. You guys are storytellers. That's a other really important thing to talk about, is the storytelling. Storytelling, I think, at the end of the day, it's about what people feel when they listen. And songs are personal. And Joey, we talk about this on the show all the time, right? It's that emotion, like what drives you. Like, I'm going to tell you, Strangers to the Truth is like it's going to get me in trouble. Let's just put it that way. I know it is.
Yes, it will. It will.
It will. That's a
Dave
good
and I
thing.
were talking
It's
about
exciting.
Strangers. We were saying that in a sense, it's almost a parody of like, say, really hard rock or metal, because it does take it to 11. I mean, it's like nothing is held back. Like it really just cranks it.
You get a fine, just send it to the Cravens.
But
We'll pick up your seating fine.
There it is.
It has all the bells and whistles of a hard rock song. It's like everything's in there.
I've had warnings across the different parts. And then, like, when we went to the Indiana a few months ago, I was like, Nancy, I got to really be careful. Like, is this on the record? I don't know. Like, what? And then it's like everywhere we go, I'm like, all right, what did I do in this state? So no, I'm really not that bad. But the reality is it's personal, and stories. And I think, even acoustic, we talked about that, Joey, like all the time, right? On shows, instrumentals, words, it's storytelling, and whatever touches somebody at that one specific time. Sometimes a song just will pull you out of something that maybe could be horrendous. It could be the most joyous day of your life, and then you hear a song and it elevates it even to a higher level, and that song will stay with you for the rest of your life. So creativity, to me, no matter what, it's still personal. Music and books, those two things are personal, because even, I don't care. There's some pop songs, and I'm not a big pop kind of person, but there's some certain pop songs that I'll go, like, I really like that song. I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine, even though I'm sick to death of it, was a good song. And if you listen to it, and then I learned how to play it on guitar a bit, and I was like, oh, I actually learned something on that. And I didn't realize it was that simple, because to me, it was like, this song was just always made you feel good, and it's not my style of music.
Seriously.
But,
I hear you. Like the ending of Dancing Queen sometimes can bring me to tears. I can start crying to it. I just love it.
See,
absolutely love it.
There's
it's
something with
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't put a description on it, but it's just like the way that it's arranged and produced, and the melody and the way how the strings come in, the piano is just like, it's like, it might be a little grandiose and off the top, but it's like perfect, and it just makes you want to cry,
Yeah.
It touches something.
The sonic realm of it.
Yeah, the Beach Boys can do that too,
The
harmony?
The Beach Boys can do that too. Yeah, the Beach Boys can do that. Yeah.
Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Dang it. I mean, all these greats are leaving us now. It's like we're in that generation of...
Yeah, Sly. I mean, give me a break.
Sly Stone was...
Oh, I know. Like, There's a Riot Going On is like one of my top 10 favorite albums ever. I think it's a masterpiece. And it's just like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Then when he passed, it was like, oh my God. And then the next day it's Brian Wilson. It's like... Jiminy Christmas. Yeah.
I know. I haven't heard that saying, Jiminy Christmas, for a long time.
No, right? I did, so I didn't want to say nasty words.
Listen, we started off with Joey being able to literally be a spectator at a soccer match. I mean, I call it football, but Joey, and then we go to, rants and raves on tribute bands, AI, selfless, whatever, driving cars or whatever. John's in tears over music. So I think we've done a good journey today, right? I mean, hey, it's been pretty good.
Fantastic.
But Joey, I mean, that's amazing that you got to experience that. Gee, I'm a soccer fan. That's amazing. So thank you so much for being on the show. Joey?
I was just going to say, I'd never really experienced soccer, but when they gave me the opportunity to go see a game, I started watching soccer games, so I know what I was talking about. So now that we're Jennifer and I are both big fans, so we have another thing on our list of entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I used to play it in South Africa, not in anything fancy or anything, but I had a bunch of Army friends, and they taught us, and my friends and I. And anyway, that's a whole other story for a whole other show that maybe probably should never be broadcast. But the World Cup was a big deal, and it's coming to America, which blows my mind.
Everywhere in the world. Yeah.
I got to give a big shout out to all the women who played soccer in this country because they were the ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been playing soccer in this country since the late 1800s, but it wasn't on the books, because we have football here. In South Africa, it was rugby and then soccer or football, whatever.
Yeah.
And cricket. Rugby is like your American football, but football, soccer is just like, I don't know, living in England and all of that. So when you go back to England, Joey, it's going to be a whole new world. That's a whole other. I mean, that opens it up. So this is when we look at technology, sometimes these changes suck. Like when you guys had to go through a personnel change, in the beginning it sucks. And then it's like, all right, it's time for a change. And Change is Coming Soon is on the album, everyone. So get it. I gotta put it. Hey, it is. They knew when they put that on the album that change was coming. Who put that on there? Who wrote that?
Bill and I wrote it. Yeah, we both wrote it. We both wrote the lyrics. Yeah. I don't know who specifically came up with that line, but yeah, it's there.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It is a feeling. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are kind of reality based, Well, it's not. We certainly do, and it's not intentional. But in retrospect, it's like, okay, there's something that's poignant about it, And it wasn't designed for that, but it's there, Yeah, you can't rub it away. Yeah,
I'd like to use that song for like the next few years here. Change is coming soon. I'm going to believe.
Let's pray and hope. We have to. We do.
We all want positive change. Positive change is good in our lives. Sometimes it feels like it's not positive, but I can almost guarantee you change is always good. And it's the only thing we can always rely on in life is change. And you guys,
the only constant in the universe.
Look at you all now. Yeah, it's the only constant. And now look at your band and look at the album and touring, not touring, but.
Yeah, we came out on the other side. We certainly did. Yeah, we persevered in it. We blossomed into something different, which is great. Yeah.
Not really a choice.
Yeah, we were bound and determined to make sure that this record was finished and that we came out on top and came out from the other end after what we went through with.
You got to go to their new website, cravenmusic.net. It is all up there, and you can get their music, Spotify, all that stuff, but also keep up with their gigs. And then, of course, go to joeystuckey.com. Joey's got a new awesome website. He looks all spiffy and cool. I like your new website, Joey. It is a cool Stuckey verse. Yes, and sign up for his newsletter. And Joey, next time you're on the show, we got to talk about a live day coming up. A live day, September 29th is a big deal. It is Joey's he's got 2 birthdays, and isn't that cool? And we're always glad that Joey is part of our universe. And he calls it Stuckey.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
great.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. Also, really quick, Lisa and Nancy, Leah sent her love. She wanted me to make sure. Yep.
I was just talking about her pasta on a show the other day with a friend who went to Italy, and she went to class in Rome on how to make pasta, and I'm like, I bet you it's just like Mama Gizzy. I know. I was just talking about that. But everyone, we're close this off with Around the Bend, which is somewhere that I normally hang out. So here it is, Around the Bend. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you so much.
Get me out if I